All right, welcome back, guys. Still buzzing after that victory, even though it might not have been the most exciting thing. But 3 points is always good to have in the bag. What say you, Formula Sports?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, it 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 we have. I mean, as I said, the positives outweigh the negatives. None of the starters never really had a poor performance per se. They just never really looked like they got out of second gear,
Yeah,
so to speak. Yeah, man.
yeah. And so, with that being said, now Formula, we're going to jump into the player ratings because we're going to keep this one nice and short. We're going to start with the goalkeeper. Make you give your ratings first.
Blake, what? One real save he had to make if memory serve me right. It was
Two,
that
two.
two.
Yeah.
The other one wasn't really
Yeah.
it was a relatively comfortable. I mean, it. I mean, look, if he wasn't there, would hit the back of the net. So it's a save. It's hard to grade Andre Blake though because he really and truly never really had anything much serious to contend with.
Yeah.
So how you go about grading a performance like that? I mean, one mightily impressive save, right? So
Um. Well, when I consider it, you have to give him credit for him clean sheet. And
yeah,
also
yeah,
having Andre Blake there, most people might not consider this. Might be one of the main reasons why the defense looks so stable today. Because
true,
you have your captain, the commander at the back running things.
true.
Um, I'd give him a 7.5. It wasn't a busy day, but he
Yeah,
acquitted himself well. What say you?
yeah. I would give him a 7.
Yeah.
Just that low. I mean, what he had to do, he did it well,
Mhm.
but it's just the inactivity for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm being too harsh, but I'd give him a 7.
But is it the thing, Formula? I rather my keeper be not too active, So I will not complain. It's
Yeah, no,
7.5.
it's a positive, Yeah, man,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, It's a
7.5.
positive, that he's not active, It's an excellent thing that he's not active.
Mm,
But in terms of from the perspective of grading his performance,
mm,
it was a walk in the park for the most part for Blake. I
yeah.
give him a solid 7.
Okay. Um. Let's start at left back. Maribel.
Oh, Bell did well. Bell did well. I would give Bell. I would give Bella a 8.5.
Mm.
I'd give Bella 8.5. Bell
Yeah.
did well.
I would go with a 8. Sturdy performance. I think he was beaten probably once.
Yeah.
Um. He's never really done badly for us, Come to think of it.
Yeah.
When we've
Yeah.
lost and conceded like 4 goals in a game, he's always a steady performer.
Yeah.
Um, he's not going to be in a lot of highlights or get a lot of attention, but he's a steady performer and
Yeah. Yeah.
a very capable backup to Taxi.
For sure. For sure. For sure.
So yeah, I'll go with a 8 for Bell. More.
I would give everybody right across the back line
Mm.
a 8.5.
I think out of all the defenders, I think I'd give more the 7.5. I think I saw him the least out of everybody else. And like what I said with the goalkeeper, it don't seem that much is thing there. But I think Nana read the game well.
True.
And made his job a lot easier.
Yeah. Mm. You know
So
what?
I'll go that 7.5 for him.
You know what? On second thought, I would give more 8.5. But on second, I would give everybody else in the back line a 8.5. But on second thought, I would probably give Nana a 9. Really and truly, Nana did. Yo, come to think of it, Alva Spoil did very well too,
That side, Nana and Alvas on their side, on the right side.
You know what? I'm gonna give Nana and Alvas a 9, and I'm gonna give Low and Bella 8.5. More and Bella 8.5.
Okay. So I have more at a 7.5. I'll agree with you on Nana on the 9, and I'm going to give Alvas a 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
Just because not any fault of his own, but you don't know. I believe that Alvas can get a little bit fitter after more game time.
Yeah.
So that's the defense. The defense had a really good performance. Michael Hector.
Hmm. I would give Hector a 7.5. I would
Yeah,
give Hector a
I think it's
solid
fair.
7.5.
The thing with Hector is like we said, when he keeps his game simple, he's most efficient. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he did that today. So if he continues to keep his game simple, um, he should be good going forward. So it's 7.5, and we agree on that.
yeah.
Daniel Johnson.
What would I give DJ? Here's the thing. Here's my problem. I didn't think in this game I
Mm.
personally would have liked to have seen us seize control of the midfield,
Yeah, I agree with you there.
and we didn't.
Agree with
And really and truly, I don't think I'm gonna blame the midfielders
you.
because I don't think it is their fault. The reason
Mm.
being is that I think that the coach, I think it was more instructions from the coach. That's how I read it, right? That's how I personally read it. So I would give Daniel Johnson a 7
Mm.
and a 7.5. I'll be generous with DJ. I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah. Um, I would think that. I would agree with you. Um, I would have liked to see a little bit more from the midfield, but he basically played the midfield by himself. You know what I mean? Because when Hector is in the midfield, he screens the defense. He doesn't offer much going forward.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think that is if anywhere we can improve, it's in the center of the park, and I think that is why we didn't have like that total control and domination and the
yeah,
tempo. Like I think there was times when we should have sped up the game, and because we didn't have that control in the midfield, it wasn't possible.
yeah.
All
I
right,
don't think I really don't think that I don't think it was a tactic or a game plan necessarily to speed up this game, to be honest with you.
yeah,
I think they deliberately kept it at a level.
yeah. The thing is though, I think if the tempo had gone up, it would have been a much bigger margin of
Yeah man. Yeah
because
man, we'd have run over them.
Suriname was tired at walking pace. So imagine if you
Yeah.
had put them under a lot more pressure in that first half.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
So we'll go down to Leon Bailey.
Bailey had one and two good moments, one and two little glimpses of glamour, a little flick over a man head, a little, drop the shoulder and get by a man. But generally speaking, Bailey really and truly flattered to deceive in this game.
Yeah.
I think one of the things we grade Leon Bailey off of as well is we know what the player can do.
Yeah.
We have seen Leon Bailey touch the heights of literally single-handedly destroying a Bayern Munich, which is one of the best clubs in world football.
Yeah.
Destroying a Borussia Dortmund. And I think we're a little bit harsh. I think we're a little bit harsh on Bailey and we grade him on his performances for the Reggae Boyz because we know the heights he can touch.
Yeah.
Bailey gets a 6.5 for me. I just didn't think Leon Bailey imposed himself on this game. I didn't think he had any intention really of really imposing himself on the Suriname's defense. I mean, taking the ball, running at defenders, trying to isolate defenders. I mean, as I say, you saw little glimpses, but cutting inside, trying to release a shot. I mean, even the first goal, if you look at it, thank God Almighty, we kept possession and Boza got off a shot eventually. Yeah. But when him sets a bomb and cut in pan him left, the shooting channel had opened up.
Yeah.
What on God's why him cut back pan him right? I don't understand that.
Here what I think though, and it applies for both of the wingers. They had a better first half than they had second.
True.
I think the lack of production in the second half made their overall game not as appealing.
True.
In the first 30 minutes, that is where most of our offense was coming from, down both flanks. Um, so I would probably give Leon and Blair Turgot probably a 7 each. You know what I mean? Um, what do you think of Turgot's rating?
I would give Turgot a 7 because I saw a lot of I saw, in my opinion, I saw more of Turgot in the first half than I did of Bale.
Yeah.
And I saw him a bit more of him for a longer time period in the first half than Bailey.
Yeah, and the thing is, he was able to work himself into shooting positions a couple times.
Yes.
So
True.
that speaks a
True.
lot coming after it.
True.
Bobby Ricardo over Reid. A 9 for me, no. That goal earning a 9 bar.
So all right, fair. The goal brought it up to 9.
To me, he was the hardest worker in the attack.
Yes, true. For majority, I think Bobby was our best player going forward in this game. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, to me, is my man of the match is between him and Lowe and probably Alvas.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, so I give Bobby a 9.
I wouldn't give him so high. I would give him the goal took it to a 8.5. Yeah, it was a brilliant goal, man. I mean, the brother just one time on the volley, sat up nicely for him and him just put him foot through it, man. Top left hand corner, bang. Immediately as I saw it sit up for him, I knew it was gonna hit the back of the net. Yeah, immediately as I saw, I looked at it and myself from my seat, sit up, I say, yo, this is it in the back of the net. I just felt it coming. It just sat up for him so sweetly, Primo. Yeah. It had to hit the back of the net.
Definitely. Last one, striker Nicholson.
Oh, so you're gonna touch on the substitutes
after?
Yeah. Nicholson would have gotten an 8.5 for me if he had put away that relatively easy chance in the second half.
Yeah.
I would give Nicholson a 7.5. The missed chance.
I'm going to give him an 8. The reason being, I think his goal set the tone for the entire match in terms of it.
True.
It lift the anxiety and
fair point.
The thing there going forward a little bit less stressful.
Fair point. So from that perspective, it could be argued that his actions had a great impact on the game.
Yeah.
His action being the goal. Yeah, it was a good goal too. You have to give him props for that. Yeah, and I have to apologize to him because I did not want him starting. But in a sense, him kind of proved me right though.
Yeah.
With the second chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did do well.
He was stretching.
Yeah. To be fair, he did kind of stretch, but I still think it was comfortably enough for him to put it in the back of the net.
Okay.
But he did do well though. He did do well. A 7.5 for me. 7.5 going 8.
I think my 8 for that early goal is definitely a major thing to get early production from a striker like that. Definitely makes your team more comfortable. And
he did have 1 or 2 misplaced passes during in the final third,
Yeah,
so that has to be taken into consideration.
But that is where the most misplaced passes occur, don't it?
Yeah, but it was
to get the ball right.
That's true, but it was in some positions where if the passes had been
that
good,
final ball, it would have.
If that final ball had come through, it would have been put into some goal scoring positions.
Yeah. So now let's look at our substitutes. Burke and Speedy definitely came on.
Yeah, man.
We could see the difference in the middle of the work rate.
Yeah.
So I'd give them both a 7. And we also had Junior Fleming and Lamar Walker. I don't think Walker and Fleming were on long enough to even earn.
Yeah. But, to be fair to them.
Yeah, to be fair. But they all came on and they did their job. They saw the game.
Yeah.
and they brought a little bit of physicality to ensure, you know what I mean, that we kept command of the game.
I thought Speedy in particular, came on in the second half and implemented some sort of a control in the middle of the park,
Yeah,
and up the tempo. He injected life
yeah,
into our attack when coming onto the park. I was impressed with Speedy.
yeah,
I've
man.
always said of Speedy that I think Speedy needs good players around him
Yeah,
to get the best out of him. And honestly, I wouldn't, based on what we saw in the second half, I don't know if Tapa going forward would want to keep his role as an impact sub. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Speedy start in the Guadeloupe game.
I would expect him to.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would expect him to.
He's more of a better option going forward than a Michael Hector.
Yeah, definitely bring more offensive
Yeah.
output to the game.
Yeah.
Man. So last but not least, the coach.
That's a tough one, Primo. I'll tell you why it's a tough one. Yes, he got the victory.
Yeah.
Yes, he got the victory. It was a comfortable 2-0 victory. And I can understand the apparent objectives of this particular game, right?
Yeah.
But on the one hand, man, Jesus, man, we could have sent out a statement in this game. We could have run over the Suriname team. We could have hit this Suriname team for 6.
Yeah.
And really sent a statement and injected fear into our future opponents, right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about all the hype around Suriname coming into this Gold Cup, right? And people say Reggae Boyz not brush aside this little team with 6 goals.
I think even from looking at it from an outside perspective, though, I think even though it wasn't like the most outstanding whole heap of goal performance, I think looking on from the rest of the other teams in the group, which we probably need to go do, need to watch that match because it starts in 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Just to do the opposition research.
Yeah,
man. I think it would send a signal. It's not it didn't set off alarm bells, but it would definitely give them something to look at and think about.
Yeah.
Especially in seeing how solid we were at the back.
Yeah, true defensive organization. I'm not gonna give Tapa any high grade on this game, truth be told. People who know the Formula Sports knows that generally speaking, the Formula Sports is a fan of Theodore Tapa Whitmore. Formula is a fan of Tapa, right? And look, I'm not saying the guy is a Pep Guardiola, but I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for.
Yeah. That's learning his profession. He's young in coaching. He's a young coach.
True. He does have a lot of experience in the international game, though. He has coached well over 100 games at this point.
Yeah. But when you think about a coach's career, that's still
Yeah, man. That's facts. That's facts. I would give Tapa a 6.5. While I understand where he was coming from, me personally speaking, I would have just liked to have seen Tapa
go for it more.
Go for it in terms of have this team show more intent, have this team show more purpose, more ambition. Just have this team just go after this Suriname team and put the foot on the neck from minute 1 and stifle and control, right? And we didn't see that. We didn't see that.
Well, I go and give him a 7. I think it was a fair performance. I don't have the only thing I have to be critical is I think the second half substitutions took a little bit too long. He could have started that out much quicker. But yeah, overall, we don't have anything to really complain about.
Yeah.
We can ask for improvements, but yeah, this is how we want to start the tournament. We could have like a 1 or 2 more goal against Suriname, like but we'll take it to love and we banter you tomorrow, Suriname people. Yeah. Also, we want to thank everybody that joined us on the watch along from all over the world. Yeah. And
true.
guys,
I
subscribe to the
appreciated
Father
it.
Sports. You know what I mean? That's my brother in football. So subscribe to him and support the thing. You know what I mean? Formula, thank you for joining me, bro.
Yeah, man. As always, man. A pleasure.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys next time. Remember to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.